let's go blast in outer space again, you guys. You know it's that time again. Underground Noise Webzine, Webisode number 138 today. In fact, Rhino and I are talking with this guy, Walt Kowalski from the band Mastectomy. And when I first saw your band name, I thought it was Vasectomy, like you're cutting some dude's testicle out of his sack. Like, holy shit, that's gnarly and brutal as fuck. What's up, Walt?
I'm all right.
That's good. That's good. The first question I would like to ask you is, why the hell did you choose that name?
Okay, you want to hear lies or you want to hear the bitter truth?
Well, let's do the brutal truth. That's what we're all about, man. We're digging deep.
Well, I had some problems, some months ago, because of my activity in the Facebook, so some people, called to my parents, and told them to, talk to your son because he's posting offensive and politically incorrect stuff. So pay attention to your son and make him silent because he's gonna have a trouble, or get rid of job. So I don't want to have stupid problems. So what can I do? Some people are just nasty, yeah. So I don't want to make my parents sad because they received some strange phone calls, and I decided to change the name. And if people want to contact me or contact the band, it's not a problem. That's it. I'm Adam.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do, man. Making music is a good thing, and we need more of it in this world, especially metal.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, man. I don't know how to pronounce this word. It's Kuzagladzi. Is that how you say it?
Yes, Kuzagładzie. It means it's Polish towards obliteration.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking at this CD. I'm like, how the fuck do you say that? I don't know Polish. So thank you.
Polish lyrics. Yes, I decided, to use some Polish lyrics because, I like English lyrics, I like to write in English, but, I like writing in Polish too because it's my language, and sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's harder, but now I'm mixing, so 50-50. So it's okay, maybe it's a little bit exotic for for American people or for for people that they're not Polish, because they have to translate the lyrics, and it's not easy to write because it might sound strange, because what is that, what does it mean, you can always put into Google Translator and you will know what the song is all about.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to start doing my homework, Rhino, because I'm gonna study Polish.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. What superpowers you have? I speak Polish.
Well, what's the worst thing you could tell somebody in Polish? How about that for a question?
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, how would you tell somebody off in Polish if you wanted to tell them like "fuck you" or something?
What?
Like if somebody was making you angry and you wanted to tell them "fuck you," how would you say that in Polish?
Polish, fuck you. Pierdol się. It means piss off.
I love it. That's fucking great, dude. That is so cool. I love that. I'm gonna have to learn more Polish, Rhino. Like I told you, and you're up, sir.
Okay.
Am I?
Some American people live in Poland. Maybe it's a surprise for you, but some American people have their own channels on the YouTube and they speak Polish with American accent.
Oh wow!
So they learn Polish. Yes, in Great Britain, loads of British people can speak, maybe not fluently, but they understand loads of Polish words. So you have to pay attention what you are saying.
So if I say something completely wrong and it doesn't have the right accent or the right, twist to it, I could say something completely different. People look at me really funny, like, what do you say I got smelly feet for? Or something, you know what I'm saying? Someone's crotch is rotten.
But Polish people are similar to Americans in many ways. You have we have the same, you know, temperament. I don't know how to say it in English. The temperament, you know, the mentality,
Oh
and
yeah,
maybe they have. Polish people are often, you know, straight, you know, and sometimes rude.
hey, that's okay. Everybody's like that. But
But you know, it's many things are similar. You know,
yeah, that's true.
a similar culture. You know, we like to laugh. You know, play stuff. You know, it's people are people. So if you
Amen.
go to Sweden, you know, or to Norway, it's completely different. They are, you know, sad. You know, they sense of humor is.
Yep, some
I
people are
was in
that
Norway.
way.
My brother lived in Norway. You know, and he lived in Norway 8 years. So I was there and I couldn't live there.
Yeah, I don't
It's
blame
dark all the time, you know. So you can get, you know, get crazy because you have to take pills to stay, you know, mentally
Vitamin D.
healthy. Yes, to stay mentally healthy, you have to take
Yeah.
pills because when it's all the time dark or all the time is the day, you know, and the sun is shining, you can get crazy.
Sounds depressing a little bit, but
Yes. Lot of suicide people, you know.
well, let's see what Rhino's got for you. What questions you got today, sir?
All right, let's start off with this. Is there anything you'd like to confess to Roger?
Yeah, good old Roger Wilco there, our mascot.
Roger,
He's good
behind
at keeping secrets, so you can confess anything.
Yeah, he's
confess
good.
anything?
Mhm.
I have nothing to confess to him, to be honest.
Well, damn. Well, damn. Al, what was their safe word again?
10 minutes.
That's not a safe word.
All right, fine. The safe word is backwards.
Okay. All right. What would you say is the weirdest place or so forth? Weirdest place you got an inspiration for a song?
The weirdest place?
Right, a place or an item, or what's your weirdest inspiration for one of your songs?
The weirdest inspiration? Well, I think the life, you know, it's hard to say the weirdest inspiration because most of the lyrics in the song are inspired by, you know, true stories. Yes, so I don't have to search for any weird spaces, or I don't have to take any booze to write lyrics because I'm, you know, taking the newspaper, or I'm, you know, going to the website, and I have teams for the lyrics. The lyrics write itself because, you know, every day we can, you know, we have some weird stories. So I think that the life in the totality and that's it.
Too cool. Real quick, should Al get a mohawk? Should Al get a mohawk?
But
Like a punk mohawk. Should Al get that?
this one,
Yeah.
okay.
So we got to vote for yes. All right.
Were you
What
voting,
did,
Rhino?
what's that?
Were you voting?
I'm voting for your mohawk.
Oh, God. You guys outbeat me, but that's not going to happen.
What
I mean,
you
I could
got?
always use the Snapchat filter with a green mohawk. I mean, I did that
No.
before, but it just doesn't really work the same way as actual hair.
Yeah, you're getting a mohawk. But what you got, man?
Well, let's see. Say if Rhino and I were to come over there to Poland and we were going to try some food at one of your local restaurants, what food would you recommend and what food would you not recommend and why?
The typical cuisine, the Polish in Poland. I think the potatoes and the steak. It's or you know, the fried chicken with potatoes and cabbage.
Yeah, I love sauerkraut and I love pierogies.
Pierogi, yes. How you can say pierogi in American in English?
I say pierogi
Just
or
pierogi.
pierogi.
Okay. With meat or with cheese? With cottage cheese? With meat?
I prefer sauerkraut, which is basically salty cabbage, but it's really sour cabbage with vinegar and shit.
Okay.
And also, I like it with potato and cheese, like cheddar cheese. That's pretty tasty.
Okay. The pierogi with potatoes and cottage cheese is Russian pierogi. Russian pierogi. It's cottage and potatoes inside.
I'll have to try it that way sometime. I've never done it that way, so I'll keep on the lookout and see if there's anything in the stores.
Yes.
But who knows? Mrs. T's is the name of the company of the pierogies that I buy. So I like to cook them with, sauteed onions and butter. Oh my God, they're so fucking good. Now you're making me want pierogies, bro. That's some
No
good
pierogies
shit.
for you.
Yeah, none for your buddy Roger either, because he's got no soul, man. Look at him. He's a fucking skeleton for crying out loud.
I'll feed him more.
Roger,
He's just
Roger.
hungry.
I have to ask you, Walt, I see that this album, Hell on Earth, has 14 songs. Was there,
Yeah.
was there a favorite that you had off this album? Because with me personally, it was actually Domain of a Dreadful Republic. That song
Reprisal.
right there stood out to be really political in a way, but at the same time anti-political.
Yes, it's a war song. It's about Warsaw uprising in 1944. In Warsaw, there was a uprising. And the intro is the Goebbels, and he speaks he speaks about war, and the whole song is about the Warsaw uprising when Germans, killed children and burned all the buildings, and they used to kill, the children, the whole district. They
So like the
cleanse.
Holocaust in a way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of a depressing idea, if you ask me, to do some stupid shit like that. But everybody does what they do for a reason, I guess.
It was really terrible because people used to fight with bottles with gasoline,
Molotov cocktails.
and they had tanks on the on the other side, and they used to throw the bottle with gasoline, and that was the main weapon. It was the butchery. A lot of people died.
Just a bunch of savages, if you ask me.
Yes, and the town was leveled with the ground because the Hitler told ordered his troops to destroy the whole capital city, to destroy the whole Warsaw and level it with the ground. No stone on the stone.
In my honest opinion, I believe Hitler was a fucked up, stupid individual that was very insensitive to his own feelings, but I'm going to leave that alone for now because he can stick his face up his ass.
Yes, I was in Germany and in Monachium, and I was there when I was a kid and see the place when he used to spoke to people, to the crowds. Hitler, yeah.
Yeah, fuck
absolutely fucked up. And I was in Auschwitz-Birkenau, the concentration camp, and my grandfather, he was taken to the bunker, and Germans, beat out all his teeth and killed him in the bunker. Yes, my family was quite, rich before the war, but the Germans killed my grandfather. They took him to the bunker, like I said, and they killed him in the bunker. They beat him to death.
That's fucking brutal. But at the same time, that sucks, man.
It was 1940 when my grandmother had 9 years old, and they took him from the street and took him to the bunker, and he died.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry for your loss. My grandfather on my mom's side, who was in World War II, he fought basically in the Navy, telling the guys to fire the cannons at the Japs. And I'm just like, wow, you told them to fire at the Japanese with a cannon? That's gnarly. I would have never known unless you didn't tell me. But I'm gonna hand it over to Rhino for a second. I'm gonna get a swig of my Mountain Dew.
Yes.
All righty. Nope.
Okay.
Let me ask this. What advice would you give to your 10-year-old self? Doesn't have to be, can be musical, doesn't have to be musical.
When I was a 10-year-old?
Yeah.
You were asking me if when I was 10 years old, if I was a death metal fan or, all
No,
this.
I'm saying if you could give advice to your 10-year-old self, what would you tell yourself?
Okay, give up guitar.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tricky question, to be honest, because I regret nothing, even when I was a kid, because maybe, I have one advice. Don't count on people, because I wasted too much time on stupid people. Because I wanted to form a band when I was 18 years old. I was just a vocalist and used to play with people that pretend to play music, we can play once a month, we have rehearsal, and I'm calling to a dude, he's with his wife, and he's washing the dishes because his wife told him to do so, he's not gonna come to the rehearsal, and you can go fuck yourself. And I wasted so much time. I started to play guitar when I was 24 years old. It's really late.
Yeah. It is, but hey, if you pick it up, you pick it up.
Of course.
And if you write a good riff, you got a good beat behind it, you got something going.
Thank you. But I'm not consider myself as a guitarist, to be honest, because it's like, I play jazz music and play riffs. I played some shows and the response was really good, but it's not enough for me. I'm just, consider I'm just, an amateur, I just, create songs, create riffs. But for me, the guitarist, the Pat O'Brien, Kerry King, the musicians that work and they live with music, they earn money and, and stuff like that. I'm just a fan and I make songs and I don't consider myself as a full-time musician, but maybe it doesn't matter to the people, but it matters to me because, I always wanted to be a guitarist, but it's, I'm not gonna, make a career, go on the tour to the United States, play bunch of shows, when I have, kids and I have full-time jobs, and it's not possible, to give up job and play music abroad, When you are 18 year old kid, it's possible, but not maybe when you are 40 and you have, bills to pay.
They're always happening, and
Yes.
they never end.
Yes, I'm happy with what I have. So I play music. I'm happy that I can record the album. I can play shows. People like my stuff, and I'm happy with that. So I'm not complaining. I'm just stating facts, and that's it.
Too cool. One more before I turn it back to Al. What is your favorite Limp Bizkit song?
I knew that was coming.
Limp Bizkit? You're asking me about the Fred Durst?
Yes.
That old start? No, this, it's, people are laughing at him, but he's a rich guy. He made a lot of money, and from the business perspective, he's really smart. You don't have to like his music. I think that his music is, could be worse, could be better. He has a lot of fans. The bassist is good. The dude that played the bass guitar is very skilled.
Wes Borland.
Yes, West Borland. Yeah.
All right, I'll turn it back to Al for a second and his love of Fred Durst.
I hate Limp Bizkit with a passion. I wish we would stop talking about him in every fucking webisode, man. You need to stop, Rhino. You need to stop, man.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm sick and tired about Metallica.
Oh yeah, Metallica.
Yes, there is no week without Metallica in the media. Metallica all the time, all the freaking time.
I like their older stuff, to be honest with you, about Metallica, but their newer stuff,
Yeah.
it didn't sell me anything really. Because when I first heard Saint Anger, I was like, okay, is Lars playing on trash cans? Pound, 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 pound. Thinking, man, someone's gonna have to give that guy a couple lists to make it look like a hi-hat or something. Aluminum trash cans. That's the worst sound you could ever have.
For me, Slayer is much better because they were always brutal.
Yeah, and they're extremely aggressive too.
Since they show no mercy, the music is always brutal. You know, every album is really brutal. You know, they have good and average albums. You know, it depends on the fan what you like, but every album is good or okay. You know, so I always from the thrash metal scene, I always preferred Slayer, and Sodom is okay, and some bands, you know, but.
You know, that brings me up to the next question. I was going to relate to your answer there. What song would you say is overplayed? Would you say it's Enter Sandman or Rain in Blood?
Which song is overplayed?
That's what I'm asking. Which song do you find to be overplayed?
Enter Sandman.
Yeah, because Enter Sandman, when I first heard that, I was like, wow, this is way too repetitive. Kind of reminds me of AC/DC, TNT doing the same thing, but at the same time, I don't get it.
But you know, AC/DC, you know, people complaining it all the time, you know, all the time. But most of the bands use this, you know, use this pattern, you know, copy paste riffs, and they rearrange the riff and then create the song. Many bands is doing it. When I was recording the first album, you know, a lot of engineers told me, you know, that every band, you know, do this, you know, that they record the song at the studio and they are able to play the riffs, but they are not able to play the song live.
There's a lot of bands that are like that.
Yes, and he told me about the big names, not the underground bands, the stars.
Oh, my next question for you is what bands help influence your sound? Because like I was telling you before I hit record and before Rhino showed up, we were talking about the album Hell on Earth, and it reminded me of like early Napalm Death meets Cannibal Corpse. And I was like, holy shit, this is like a combination of a lot of death metal plus a lot of grindcore bands, like Nauseam, for an example. You remember Nauseam and Cold Worker?
Yes.
Yeah. A little bit of Bolt Thrower influence I heard in there. If you know who Bolt Thrower is.
Napalm Death was really cool. Nowadays it's I think, you know, nowadays this band is, but the old stuff is, you know, really innovative because they mixed punk and metal and thrash and death metal, and they used to play a really good song. And what bands influence the sound, you know, the Napalm Death, yes, Cannibal Corpse, but more Putrid Pile and Mortician as well, and Obituary, the old Obituary, and you know, maybe Deeds of Flesh. I love, you know, the Mark of the Legion. The sound of this album is very, very unique because it's really crispy and really, you know, heavy. It's
Deeds of Flesh. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yes.
One of my favorite bands that I saw back in 2006 with Odious Mortem and Decrepit Birth, believe it or not. And I got to meet Eric Lindmark, Mike Hamilton, and Jacoby Kingston that night. What a fucking awesome show that was. I got mind blown.
And in my opinion, Eric is really underrated guitarist. because he used to play really hard stuff to play, and he was a vocalist. It was unbelievable, you know. These riffs, you know, I have a lot of Deeds of Flesh song in the tabs. If you want to learn the song, you have to be really, really skilled.
Absolutely.
And he played when he was really young, because he was 25 or 20 years old. So I have no idea how much hours he played guitar when he was a kid.
It makes you wonder sometimes, because some of these musicians make it look like it's butter, but by the end of the day, you're looking at like, where do I begin? This is like a labyrinth of a guitar riff. I don't know where to fucking start. You start at the beginning, of course, but then you have to work your way to the end. And once you get stuck in a certain part that you can't seem to figure out, take a break for a minute. You know, take like a day or two off and then go back to it, and then maybe you'll get it. Who knows?
And the guy from Putrid Pie, Sean Lacan, is really...
Oh, dude, Putrid Pile's the shit. My
He's,
buddy loves those
tight,
guys.
because his playing is so tight, you know.
Yeah, that's how my friend Brendan Jackson is. He's in my band Nightmare Crypt, and he's in his one-man band called Fetal Embalmment, and he's a huge...
yeah. I know the ginger guy. With
Oh,
I,
you know Brendan?
yes. I saw his shows when he had some shows, and he played a Macabre song, The Hitchhiker, and Morticians.
Yeah, he did that. He also did a Mortician cover. Yeah, he's done a few covers before. I've heard his cover of Gutted by Cannibal Corpse, and it sounds so much better than Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes.
Chris Barnes. You know what? Yeah, I know that a lot of people mock of him, you know. I know his voice is dead, and in my opinion, it's true. But you know,
but not that great.
He was great. He was the best. 30 years ago, he was the best with Frank Mullen and Glenn Benton and John Tardy, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion.
Let me ask you this question, Rhino. You know what Chris Barnes sounds like when he's trying to take a shit and he's actually constipated? Sounds like... Sorry, I had to pull it out.
Okay.
It's a joke I came up with. You should understand he does this E thing all the time with 6 feet under. More like blunder. I hate 6 feet under. The earlier shit was good. Rhino, we got 6 minutes left. Feel free to ask another question, then I'm going to hit stop.
All right. My favorite. All right. You get to bring one musician back from the dead. In return, though, you have to sacrifice a modern musician. Who's coming up? Who's going down?
First of all, I would sacrifice Lars.
Good. Okay, we can.
And which one? I would back from the dead, Eric Lindmark.
Eric's the man.
Yes. And I have or Chuck Schuldiner or Jeff Hanneman.
Oh, 50, got to see him once. Got to see him once. That was amazing.
Yes.
Let's see. How much time we have, Mr. Al?
5.
5. Okay. Right now, what would you say your go-to tuning is? And with that, are you experimenting with other tunings?
Tuning. You're asking me what tuning is my guitar? About what? Okay, so I tune 2.5 step down. Okay. I used to play in C standard, and I love the tuning, because it's clear and it's heavy, the C. But I wanted to get a deeper sound, so I decided to tune it down more. But I think B standard is enough, because I want to, save some dynamics, not just, heaviness, because when you play fast riffs and your guitar is tuned, 5 steps down, you can't hear, it's very muddy.
Yes. You got another one, Mr. Owl?
Well, you already took my question, but that's all right. I play in D standard myself, and also I play in drop C because it's easier for me. What would you say is your favorite album that you've done so far? Because like I said, I got all three of them here. We got Hell on Earth. I'm not sure how well you can see that, Rhino, but that's that one. Then you got Supreme Art of Extermination, which is it's there somewhere. Trying to hold it up, and it's not easy because the virtual background there. Seen it for a second. And then finally the newest one, Ku Zagladze. I always say it wrong, but I'm wearing the shirt to support. So there you go.
Okay, great, man. You're asking me about my album's favorite, or you're asking me?
Yeah, which album did you find to be your favorite that you've written so far?
I like the latest EP and the second album, Worst Kind of Human.
Okay.
Because it sounds the best. The second album and the latest EP. I think the sound is really, really good.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to listen to it again.
So I like playing these songs because they are really, cool to play, and that's it. I'm gonna record new album in the new December, so a new album will be ready in the autumn next year. I think so.
Great, man. Looking forward to hearing it.
So that's it. So it's gonna be album number 3.
Awesome, dude. That's gonna be badass.
More English songs.
Hey, that's a plus. What you doing in Japanese?
All righty then, let's go start with this one. In Poland, what do you think people look at the U.S.? What part of, I guess, U.S. culture do the Polish look at, and they're just like, what the fuck is wrong with these people over there?
I think the common thing that American people have and Polish people have is we are all freedom lovers. That's the one big thing, because we live under many regimes.
Yeah.
Poland was diminished from the map for 123 years. There was no country on the map. And people in the United States rebelled against the British people because they didn't want to pay taxes. The Queen. Yep.
Now we probably pay more taxes than the British.
Because, yes, because the whole people has changed through the years. I think that's the whole problem, because the whole population in the whole world, men have less testosterone, the hormones, and they are less aggressive, so they are not able to, to fight anymore and to protect. If government say, okay, now you pay 75% of taxes, will you think that anyone will be on the street or rebel against the government? I don't think so. And you have the Second Amendment, and you have access to the guns, and we don't have it.
You should get that. Guns are fun.
Of course. I used to train with soldiers on the shooting range and with commandos a few years ago, so I'm able to use the guns, but I don't have any, because in Poland, if you want to own the gun, you have to pay a lot of money for a license. You have to buy, the I don't know how to say it, jukebox. Yeah, the metal stuff, and you have
a gun safe. Yeah.
Yes. So it's not easy to get a gun in Poland. Maybe the black powder guns, yes, but not the ordinary one, the real bullets. And you're asking me about differences, or the differences?
Yeah, like something that you guys would look at the U.S. and say, well, what is wrong with you?
one thing I don't like in America, that is when when the bad things is going, and your house is burning, your family dies, and people used to say, "Ha ha, it's fine. How are you? I'm fine, thank you." It's dumb. Don't you think it's stupid? When when you have the bad events, and
Right.
people used to say, "Yeah, it's fine. How are you?" And people asking me, how am I? How are you? They don't give a fuck. How am I? It's they don't really care. If I'm asking, how are you? I'm really interested in it. How are you? And that's honest. I don't. So sometimes it's good, when people do not complain, and sometimes it's not good. Polish people, because of two world wars, and the occupation, Polish people are used, they are maybe depressed, they are really pessimistic, and they are often rude, but I think they are more honest. If a Polish dude like you, he really likes you.
Right.
He's not lying. So, and I don't like, when someone is, say, I like you, I like your music, and 2 days or 3 days ago or 2 months ago, he's talking shit about me behind my back, the dude is, I don't like two-faced people, If someone doesn't like me and he says, I don't like you, I don't like your views, I don't like your music, okay, it's your opinion. Everyone has an opinion. It's like a hole in the ass. Everyone has opinion.
Some just think we're.
And you can have opinion about me. What?
I said,
Al has 2 holes in his ass.
Yeah, you wish, Rhino.
Yeah.
I'm not a rhinoceros like you, buddy. With
Yeah.
a horn coming out of your head. Which head? Oh, I had to say it.
And Polish people has one disadvantage, when I heard a story, I'm not gonna mention the band, I'm not gonna mention the 2 bands, the Polish band and the American band, and dude said something about the sound of the guitar, from the amp, and he says, well, it's a shit. It's a shit. And the American dude, he was really upset, and he kicked him out from the tour of the bus. Get the fuck out.
Oh man.
Upset,
Got to do what you got to do, man. Kick someone off the fucking bus, so they're gonna have to.
No one asked you about the opinion. He said, it's shit.
Hey, I probably would have done the same thing, but like, get the fuck off my bus, asshole.
Yeah.
But
And in America, you have the huge Polish community in the Chicago, and I think a lot of Polish people live in the United States.
Yeah, we have a Polish community. I'm in Baltimore, so we have a Polish community.
Okay. And Damian Leski from Broken Hope and Gorgasm, he's Polish. He moved from Krakow when he was, I think, 6 years old kid, and he moved to the United States from Krakow when he was a kid. But he's able to speak Polish.
that's good information to know.
Yeah.
I got a good question for you, Walt. Could you tell us a little bit more about your local music scene? What's your local music scene like? You guys got a lot of bands where you're at?
You mean the whole scene, or death metal scene?
Any of it really, because I'm familiar with Vader, Behemoth.
I think in the past it was it was better, in my opinion, because nowadays it's mostly black metal bands. Like Mgła. Mgła in Polish means fog in English. Furia, the famous Polish black metal band. Infernal War, mostly black metal bands.
Yeah,
big names are alive, and people want to go to the show, to the big names, but they don't give a fuck about the underground. And that's what really hurts me, because you have loads of death metal bands in the United States, and you have all these fests, you know. When I'm looking on, you know, the Milwaukee Death Fest, the Chicago Domination Fest, we don't have it.
Hmm.
We have Brutal Assault, but it's in Czech Republic. It's a really big fest, loads of people, and Obscene Extreme, but it's in Czech Republic, not in Poland. In Poland we have Metal Mania, but on the Metal Mania you have the mainstream bands. Shit.
Yeah, there's some bands from Poland that I still follow, like Dargor. They're a melodic black metal band. Then there's also Decapitated, Vader, Behemoth, just to name some of the big boys that are out there, you know, doing their thing.
Yeah.
Vader, I saw Vader back in March and they kicked ass. They were playing with Crisian and also Decrepit Birth.
Vader is 40 years old.
Yes, they are.
It's a really old band.
Oh.
So you know, they did the whole thing when, you know, no bands almost were in Poland in the 80s. So it was really hard because they didn't have access to the gear. You know, it was really shitty times, poverty, you know. But they were the first band that they started touring in the United States. The first tour, I think, with Malevolent Creation in 1991 or something like that. And Vader did it. So it was a huge success for Polish band.
That's quite some time ago. I was 12 years old when that happened. So that's pretty impressive.
But in Poland, we have, I think that we have some good death metal bands that they are not well known, like, you know, Anima Damnata. Do you know Anima Damnata?
I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar with
Yes,
them.
it's a mix and death. It's a mix death and black metal, but the drummer plays in vein of the Mexican disgorge. You know, it's really tight, really good band, really good. Trauma is 30 years ago. It's a mix of Malevolent Creation, Suffocation with Fear Factory. Really good. Some good bands, you know. And some grindcore bands, and that's it. So maybe it's not dead, but the scene is not dead, but it was, I think it was better 20 years ago when every local show and the bar is full. The whole people, you know.
So like
300, 200.
That's awesome, man. That's totally awesome.
Old good days when I was a teenager.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you have any pre-show rituals that you like to do before going on stage? Like, say some bands like to do push-ups, or they like to, you know, headbutt each other. They huddle around in a circle and say, "Let's do this." Or how do you do it, man? You just tell yourself, "I'm already pumped up. Let's get on stage, motherfuckers. It's time for a show." Like, how do you get your energy levels up? How do you sustain that?
The vocals?
No, what I'm saying is, like, how do you sustain your energy? Like, do you have any pre-show rituals beforehand? Like, do you practice before you go on stage? Like, say you're or in backstage form.
Yes, I used to, you know, keep my voice alive, and I practice before the every show, you know, a lot of rehearsing. So I'm not trying, you know, to force myself, you know, for maybe for 12 or 10 hours to play the guitar, but I'm, you know, a lot of sleep, a lot of practice, and positive vibe that everything is gonna be okay and people will like it, because, you know, the first show is always very stressful. I'm alone on the stage, so, you know, I don't have bandmates to support me, you know, when something is fucked up. So I have to do most of things on my own. So it's really stressful, really. Yeah, but when I'm starting, you know, to play song, you know, and everything goes okay, every song, the stress is going down, you know, so it's okay. But some dudes, you know, are, you know, go unconsciousness because the stress is too high.
Well,
Yeah.
that brings me to my next question. What's the craziest thing that you've seen happen in the audience while performing? Like, say someone gets their head split open from the pit, or say someone breaks their arm. I mean, have you ever seen anything like that happen before?
Nose bleeding.
Nosebleeds, huh?
Yeah, yes, but not. No, it's people get crazy in the pit, but I think that none of musicians want to people get harmed during the show, because musician take the whole on himself that it's his fault, but we are not responsible for anyone's actions, it's do you know the case when Pearl Jam played on their show? I think the 30 years ago, and the stadium and people and crowd, suffocate.
Yeah.
One dude passed away. So the dude, how Eddie Vedder, he was crying, and because it's always you take it on yourself that it's your fault. It's not your fault, but you can't take part, on the security. It's the security's fault. I want to, when I play show, I want to people have fun, because maybe it's strange because I play, death metal, extreme music, and I singing about sad topics, but people want to, when people come to the show, they want to forget about their job, about their problems, and I want to people have fun. They don't want to see a human jukebox, who plays like robot, every note, every single note perfectly. Technical skills are really important, but they want to see the show, and they want to see the theater, and they want to have fun. So when I finish the show, it's always good to hear, I had fun, it was okay. Let's take a drink, and let's chat and something like that. I think that's the case.
That's really awesome, because that's the way it should be in every single show.
Yes.
Nobody wants to promote real life violence, because when you write it in fictional format, that's totally different, and that's one thing. But I don't condone violence in real life.
There is a difference between the glorification and promotion, and the difference between the revealing of the truth, because I'm thinking about people that they were sick, and I think it's good to speak about this, because people can learn about the human nature, and the purpose of my music is not to harm people and teach them how to harm others. My mission is to pay attention, that a lot of people are bad.
Absolutely.
So maybe not everyone, of course, but we live in hard times, and you don't even know what's gonna happen, when it was 10th of September 2001, no one ever knew that the building will collapse, the plane will go to the towers, and and the whole will be fucked up, so
Yeah, that was the day the earth stood still. Rhino, what do you got today, man? You got some more questions?
Yeah, first, real quick though, people picture, it's funny, people picture green rooms as like this party. And now all it is anymore, one member's sleeping, one member's eating, and the rest of them are on their phones. That's backstage. That's the green room now.
Yeah.
But with that said, totally off topic though, do you have any paranormal experiences?
Paranormal experiences?
Yes.
I don't know if it's paranormal, but I had twice or three times the paralysis when I was sleeping.
Oh,
Have you heard about the paralyzing during the sleeping?
I've heard about it. Fortunately, haven't had it.
It's
That's
like,
once.
yes, it's like, when you go to sleep and you're dreaming, that something is pushing on your chest, you know, I had that. Someone was pushing at my chest and stabbed me with a knife, you know, and I couldn't move. It was, you know, maybe 15 minutes of dreaming, you know, because I wake up whole swearing. And it was really fucked up. Very unpleasant experience. Very unpleasant experience.
Kind of makes you feel like you have an elephant sitting on top of you and you're just trying to move and you can't move and you're trying to stay
Yes.
healthy and you can, it just doesn't come out right. I've had that happen, so I can relate to that.
Yes, and the ancient wisdom says that it's a demon, you know, that's sitting on your chest. Maybe it's not paranormal experience, but I experienced it 2 or 3 times, so I think it's real. It's not. It's a real issue, you know. So when you are overstressed and you have problems, the percentage of this event is more. You know that you will get the paralyzing during your sleeping.
Never had that, fortunately. I've had the dream where I guess I'm falling and I wake up and it feels like I land on the bed. That's
Yes,
weird.
I lived in a block of flats on this 8th floor, and I dreamed, you know, just the same dream as you when I was, you know, going through the balcony and fell down the ground, you know, or flying.
Yeah, I can
Just
relate to that
the
too.
astral journeys, you know.
I've had that type of dream happen to me like 10 times or more. It is almost the same scenario every time. Like I'm running through a building, I'm trying to jump out a window, trying to jump over to
What
the next building. Next thing you know, splat. It's like,
What can I tell you? I used to dream more when I stopped drinking alcohol. When I stopped
For
drinking
sleep, yeah.
alcohol, I used to sleep better and have more dreams because the quality of sleeping is higher when you
Yes.
stop drinking. So
Yeah, I've had to move stuff away from my bed. I have a habit for some reason of fighting in my sleep. I've punched the wall, I've kicked stuff, wake up kicking something.
have you had your heart beating like something like?
No, just I wake up like dreaming that I'm about to kick somebody and I wake up kicking the desk or something.
oops. That doesn't feel very good the first thing in the morning. Bam. Oh.
No, but I guess back on topic a little bit. How much writing did you do during COVID and do you think it affected your writing style any?
How much? What I did? What do you? How much?
Writing music. How much music did you
Oh
write
yeah,
during COVID?
I wrote the whole latest EP during COVID. The latest EP was written during the COVID, so the whole pandemic affected me and my family quite hard. But we were all okay, so none of us died, but we had family issues because I didn't want to take the vaccine and my parents wanted me to take the vaccine. So load of arguments, you know. They didn't want me to see them for the 3 or 4 months.
Right.
So I think that this pandemic revealed the true nature of the people, you know, because as you can see, you know, some people wanted vaccine, some people didn't want, and one side, you know, say, okay, if you want to vaccine, okay, and the other side says, you know, you have to vaccine. So, because if you don't, you are a murderer, you are a mass murderer,
Right.
and something stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I only got it because my aunt's in a nursing home, and the only way I could go see her was to get the vaccine. So, you know, we were locked down, but she's in a nursing home, locked in her room for a year. So, you know, I got the vaccine so I could go see her.
yeah, and people, you know, uh, people try to snitch you to the government, to the police. This is not vaccinated, he's sick, take him, sack him from the job, and try to, to push you, So it's really fucked up. When we had communist regime, it was the same. It was like almost everyone, maybe not, a lot of people were snitchers. Some people who were communist or have members of family in the Communist Party have much better life because they have access to the better goods. They earned more money, So the whole society was really divided. And this COVID pandemic reveals the same, that people are the same on the whole planet. When the shit hits the fan, everything is broken. And
backwards.
When the situation will go more extreme, unfortunately, for instance, the food is end, and the starvation will come like the Ukraine in the 30s.
Right.
Mothers used to eat their own children in Stalingrad. And I'm writing these songs about this stuff, and I'm warning people because a lot of people, especially in the United States, are Marxism lover, and when we had communism in the 80s and in the 60s, no food, no money, no private property, nothing.
Wow.
In the Ukraine, Stalin started 20 million, I don't know, 20 billion of people. He took the whole grain from the whole Ukraine, and people used to die on the streets, So you can check on the internet, I'm not a history teacher, but I think it's really interesting, because you can learn a lot from the other mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
Really, yeah?
Absolutely.
So if you have the Second Amendment, don't let the government take your guns, because when they will take your guns, it's the same as with the cash.
Yep.
The cashless society means no money society.
No money, no freedom.
No money, no freedom. So
no privacy.
Yes, you asked me about the pandemic. You see what happened in Canada when people protest about all these regulations. The government said shut down the bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
What can I say more? And a lot of people say, it's good, but because they don't want to vaccine. So kill them all because they don't want to vaccine.
Just ridiculous.
Completely ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculousness, redonkulous, however you want to say the damn word. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got a few minutes left, and I just wanted to ask you a quick question about Kuzaglazi, or however you said it again. I can't really pronounce it. But when I look at this album, it looks like an atom bomb with the new Pennywise the Clown from the movie It. Is that kind of the look you were trying to go for? If you really look at it, that's what it looks like. I mean, it kind of does look like, Pennywise the Clown inside an atom bomb.
So it kind of looks like my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, if your ex-girlfriend looks like that, then you better tell her to get a makeover, bro.
So you're asking me about the cover and the message from the cover? Well, it's like I tried to mention the mix of humor and the mix of the tragedy. So it's a grotesque little bit, because some people, some reviewers complained that I don't know if it's for fun. I don't know if it's for serious. I don't the lyrics.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, because the first time I looked at it, I'm like, holy shit, that's funnier than hell.
Yes, it is for purpose, because the whole lyrics are maybe sad and bad, but I tried to make it a little bit fun, and it's a little bit grotesque, so it's, and the cover says it all.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The dude who made this cover is Damian. And Damian did cover for Sabaton too. So he's
Nice.
a very skilled graphic designer, so he's very good.
Yeah, these CDs are very intense for what they represent, and I really enjoyed every single one of them. So you're getting 10 out of 10 horns for every one of them, man. Fucking
Alright.
cool. Keep up the excellent work.
Damn, you're horny today, Al.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Horns up for this motherfucker. Come on, man. Show him.
Hold on. There, better.
There you go. Viking horn, even better yet. All right, well, two last questions. What would you like to say to your fans that might be watching this podcast today?
What I want to say to my fans?
Yeah.
It's a good question, a tricky question as always at the end of the interview. What can I say? Listen to the brutal music and stay yourself and fight for your rights and for your freedoms.
What would you like to say to my fan?
All right.
That you're only fan.
Don't put shit inside. Please don't put shit inside and turn it on.
My fan has an OnlyFans account.
That's Rhino's version of OnlyFans. Yeah, Rhino likes Pornhub better, but porn sucks anyway. The real deal's so much better. TMI, man.
It's a lot more expensive though.
Yeah, I guess. Depends on what your income is. But, Walt, I would like to tell you thanks for your time today. We had a blast talking with you. Do you have any last words for Underground Noise Webzine?
Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. I really appreciate your support. So it was really cool to meet you and get to know you. So thank you for supporting me and my music and Mastectomy. So hope I will see you someday face to face, squeeze your hand, and had a blast.
Yeah, we'll have to do a show or something, man. Do a tour or something.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Have a good day and take care.
You too,
man.
And if these people aren't listening to metal or rock and roll, and you don't put horns up, you're doing it wrong. Had to let out some growls today. That was fucking sick. I love it.